Hello friends, my name is Jess and welcome back to my channel, Books Past Bedtime. Today we're going to be talking about my anticipated February releases. These are all of the books that I am excited about that are coming out in February, and if you know me and you know this channel, you know that all of these books are going to be queer. So I have three categories today. I have contemporary, fantasy and science fiction, and thriller/horror. Pretty much all of these, with the exception of maybe the thriller and horror books, are going to have some element of a queer romance, usually a queer lead, because that's what I like to read about. So this is not necessarily a comprehensive list of all the queer books that are coming out in February. If you're interested in something more comprehensive, I will link some lists that I have found and picked from down in the description so you can find pretty much everything that's coming out in February, but this is just a curated list of what I am specifically interested in, and so if you have a similar reading taste to me, these are some books that you might want to add to your TBR or keep on your radar like I am. And one more piece of bookkeeping before we get into the video. This is going to be a little bit different than how I have done these videos in the past, mostly because I just am trying to get back into the swing of posting videos, and doing that is, finding the path of least resistance. And one of the issues that I was having with these videos is they take so long to script, because I usually fully write out my own description of what I'm going to say for each of these books, and to save a lot of time, a lot of mental energy, and to just completely avoid a hurdle that makes me procrastinate making this video, I've decided I'm just going to read you the descriptions straight from Goodreads of these books. I will put them on the screen so you can follow along. If you absolutely hate this, you can let me know, but I think I might do this moving forward just because it's so much easier for me to get myself to film the video if this is all I have to do. But of course, this is the first one. We'll see how it goes. It might not work, but that's what we're doing today. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. The first category of books we're going to start with are contemporaries. Most of these are romance, and they are all adult unless I specify that they are YA specifically. This applies to every book in every category is adult unless I specify that it's YA. Okay? Got it, good, let's go. First book in my contemporary category is The Paperboys by D.P. Clarence. As you can probably tell from the cover of this book, this is an MLM romance, and from the description I'm getting kind of rivals to lovers vibes, workplace. They don't work in the same place, but they work in the same industry and are direct competition. So this is the description. Sunny Miller's dream job on London's Fleet Street has become a nightmare. Sunny Miller's dream job on London's Fleet Street has become a nightmare. Side note, I just saw Sweeney Todd on Broadway with Joe from Heartstopper, and it was so good, and that takes place on Fleet Street in London, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, it was amazing. I saw his very first show, the matinee on Wednesday, the January 31st, and it was so special. He didn't come stage door though, which I was really upset about, but that's okay. I still love you, Joe. His boss at the Bulletin hates him, the sub-editors keep putting comedy headlines on his attempts at serious journalism, and he's just been scooped up by that posh bellend from Centennial, Ludo Bosch. Worst of all, for this working-class boy from Leicester, the lads in London aren't willing to date a guy who writes for Britain's trashiest tabloid. Apparently they have standards. Up the respectable end of Fleet Street, Ludo Bosch is literally making headlines. He's the son of the editor and the heir to an establishment media dynasty, so his success is assured, if he can stop singing show tunes long enough to get any work done, that is. There's just one thing. Everyone seems more interested in using his connections to get a job at the Centennial than they are in dating him. Sunny and Ludo come from different worlds. They are both talented, ambitious, and in fierce competition for the same big story. The last thing they should do is fall in love. Sounds cute. Sounds fun. I love the vibes. I love a contemporary romance. It's also pitched for fans of Red, White, and Royal Blue and boyfriend material, because of course it is. But it does sound like maybe it'll have some similar British humor, boyfriend material, which is one of the reasons why I do love boyfriend material. So I'm very interested in checking this one out. Next is Vengeance Planning for Amateurs by Lee Winter. This book comes out on February 7th and is a WLW romance, and it almost kind of has cozy mystery vibes along with being a romance, so that sounds fun. The description says muffin maker Olivia Roberts has had it with her awful exes taking advantage of her good nature. The theft of her nana's beloved stuffed penguin is the absolute last straw. She puts up an ad at her local crime bookstore for a hench person to help her enact a little mild revenge. To her astonishment, Margaret Blackwood, the mysterious, icy, and annoyingly opinionated bookstore owner, applies. For two clever, capable women, they turn out to be woeful at vengeance, but much to their dismay, they discover they're pretty good at falling in love. So I feel like this book just sounds so cute and cozy and comforting and just a fun, sweet read, especially for like this Valentine's season. It sounds like it will be like just quirky and fun, and I'm definitely interested in checking this one out. Next is How You Get the Girl by Anita Kelly. This book comes out on February 13th, and I have read an Anita Kelly book before and really absolutely loved it, so I definitely want to check this one out. I didn't read the last release from them, but I really need to get on it and want to get on this one as well. This is another WLW romance, and this one is a sports romance. I believe both of the characters play basketball and like help coach a high school team. When smart-mouthed Vanessa Lerner joins the high school basketball team Julie Parker coaches, Julie's ready for the challenge. What she's not ready for is Vanessa's new foster parent, Elle Cochran, a former University of Tennessee basketball star. While starstruck at first, soon Julie persuades Elle to step into the unfilled position of assistant coach for the year. Even though Elle has stayed out of the basketball world since an injury ended her short-lived WNBA career, the gig might be a way to become closer to Vanessa and to spend more time with Julie, who makes Elle laugh. As the coaches grow closer, Elle has a hard time understanding how Julie is single. When Julie reveals her lifelong insecurity about dating and how she wishes it was more like sports, being able to practice first, it sparks an intriguing idea. While Elle still doubts her abilities as a basketball coach, helping Julie figure out dating is definitely something she can do. But as the basketball season progresses and lines grow increasingly blurred, Julie and Elle must decide to join the game or retreat to the sidelines. Okay, so this actually sounds like it has some fake dating in it, which will be fun, or like pretend like practice dating like kind of vibes. I like that idea. That sounds very fun. So I think that this book is going to be so good. Anita Kelly is an excellent writer. Their romances are just top tier, so very excited for this one. Next, of course, if you're in the like MLM romance community, I'm sure you know that Rogue by Only James is coming out on February 13th as well, allegedly. Only tends to kind of push her release date, so we'll see if this one actually comes out on the 13th. My fingers are crossed, hopefully it will. This is the second book in her spin-off series from the Necessary Evil series called Jericho's Boys. This book follows a new character named Levi. So Levi Akira's existence is far from ideal. His mother's addiction consumes their lives, his academic standing is crumbling, and the convenience store he works at is a constant target for ruthless robberies. But amidst the chaos, Levi finds solace in only three things: his tight-knit group of friends protecting his neighborhood as one of Jericho's boys, and streaming his favorite video game where he assumes the role of Rogue, a hero who will break the rules for the greater good. Shiloh Mizrahi's hope has all but dwindled. With one brother unjustly imprisoned and the other a sadistic puppeteer, he endures daily torment at the hands of the latter, and his latest demand: get close to Levi at any cost. In the midst of another ordinary night shift, Levi's world is upended when a captivating and terrified stranger appears, brandishing a weapon and claiming he's been forced to kill Levi by his own brother. Levi, torn between self-preservation and an instinctive aversion to harming the vulnerable boy, takes a bold leap. He kisses him. And then, just like that, the boy disappears into the night, leaving Levi haunted by the memory. Driven by an unshakable connection, Levi's path crosses with Shiloh once more, igniting a passionate bond that refuses to be extinguished. However, Shiloh harbors a labyrinth of secrets, torn between loyalty and desire. With his brother's freedom dangling in the balance, can Levi and Shiloh navigate the treacherous path to be together, or will Levi forever remain a hero confined to the online realm? Honestly, reading that description out loud was kind of embarrassing, but these books are all the same shit. I eat them up. I love them so much. They're just like, I don't know, candy for the brain. Like, they're nothing serious, but I do really love them, and I do really love the characters that Only creates, and I'm so absorbed in the world. I've read literally like 15 books set in the same world, revolving around just like constant spin-offs of these same characters, so I'm so invested. I can't stop now. And this one comes out on the 13th, like I said, and I will be reading it very shortly after, I'm sure. Next on my list is This Day Changes Everything by Edward Underhill. This is the first YA book on this list. This is a YA contemporary romance. It's also supposed to come out on February 13th. Abby Ackerman believes in the universe. After all, her Midwest high school marching band is about to perform in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. If that's not proof that magical things can happen, what is? New York also happens to be the setting of her favorite romance novel, making it the perfect place for Abby to finally tell her best friend Kat that she's in love with her, and gay. She's carefully annotated a copy of the book as a gift for Kat, and she's counting on the universe to provide an epic scene worthy of her own rom-com. Leo Brewer, on the other hand, just wants to get through this trip without falling apart. He doesn't believe the universe is magical at all, mostly because he's about to be outed to his very southern extended family on national TV as the trans boy he really is. He's not excited for the parade, and he's even less excited for an entire day of sightseeing with his band. But the universe has other ideas. When fate throws Abby and Leo together on the wrong subway train, they soon find themselves lost in the middle of Manhattan. Even worse, Leo accidentally causes Abby to lose her epic gift for Kat. So to salvage the day, they come up with a new mission: find a souvenir from every location mentioned in the book for Abby to give Kat instead. But as Leo and Abby traverse the city, from the streets of Chinatown to the halls of Grand Central Station and the top of the Empire State Building, their initial expectations for the trip and of each other begin to shift. Maybe if they let it, this could be the day that changes everything for both of them. So honestly, from this description, I'm not quite sure if it's a romance or not. but it does sound kind of like a coming of age, maybe a book about friendship, potentially romance with a lot of good rep. I'm interested in like everything Edward Underhill has published recently, and I just haven't read them yet, which is, it's on me. But I definitely am keeping this book on my radar. It sounds very cute, and I love books set in New York. They're just like, there's something magical about them, you know? Next on my list is You Had Me at Merlot by Melissa Braden. This book also comes out on February 13th. Honestly, like 50% or more of the books on this list come out on February 13th. I don't know why that's such a big day, but it is. Probably because it's right before Valentine's Day, so I guess like romance books right before Valentine's Day or something. I don't know. It's kind of close to the holiday though. Regardless. This is a WLW romance. Bordeaux Nuts is New York City magic, and it all belongs to Jamie Tolliver, a charming coffee and donut spot by day. Bordeaux Nuts transforms with a sprinkle of powdered sugar into a cozy, sophisticated wine bar each evening. Jamie's enjoying a blueberry latte with her quirky band of regulars when a stunning and enigmatic stranger saunters in, flips her laptop open, and Jamie's world upside down. Each time Jamie speaks to Leighton Morrow, her crush multiplies. She's drawn to Leighton's captivating presence, her kindness, and the faint lip print she leaves on her cup that winds a tingle up Jamie's spine. But sexy spine tingles can be deceiving. Leighton Morrow didn't set out to ruin anyone's life, but she has a job to do. As a development coordinator for Carrington's department store, Leighton's part of the team that plans to take over the city block for the new location, including demolishing her new favorite cafe, Bordeaux Nuts. A shame, but that's life. She'll miss the apple fritters and the cute owner, but work is a no-feeling zone, and she definitely cannot give in to the ones she has percolating for Jamie. Leighton and Jamie have all the ingredients to turn their attraction into love, but it's a recipe for disaster. Have you ever heard more puns in your life? That was a very pun-filled description, but it sounds really cute. Kind of like rivals or enemies to lovers, or like forbidden romance, because they have this conflict of interest going on, but they're still like attracted to each other and gonna fall in love. Hopefully, this book will not have a pro-gentrification message like some of the similar romances that I've read recently have. Very bizarre, but I am super interested in this. It doesn't have very many ratings so far, but it does have a 4.22, which is pretty high, so definitely interested in this one. Next is Love and Other Wild Things by Allison Root. I just like really randomly found this book while I was doing research for this video, but it sounds so interesting and so unique, and I just have heard nothing about it, not seen it anywhere. It literally only has one rating, but it does come out on February 15th. And is another WLW romance, and it's set on like a reality TV show that's almost like Survivor, I think. Ellie Bishop is America's sweetheart with a slew of award-winning rom-coms under her belt. Unfortunately for her, the sweet girl next door bit is tiresome and doesn't allow her to show the acting world what she's really capable of. If only her manager would find the roles Ellie craves. When he comes with an offer for a reality TV show, Ellie is less than thrilled. Wild Celebrities is not the action-packed adventure she was looking for. In fact, this city slicker can't think of anything worse than shipping off to God knows where for a month with only a backpack and a survival expert to keep her company. Her need for several caramel frappuccinos daily is legendary. There's no way in hell she's going to subject herself to bugs and animals that could kill or eat her, no matter how much they offer to pay her. Robin Stewart, on the other hand, is looking for a new direction in life after working as a bodyguard for privileged divas. Not what she thought she would be doing after serving in the British Marines. That new direction comes in the form of Wild Celebrities when her best friend begs her to take his place. From the moment Robin finds out who her celebrity survivor is, she is sure of two things. One, Ellie Bishop is hot, and two, she's going to be useless in the Amazon rainforest. The show is going to test more than Robin's survival skills, of that she is sure. When the unthinkable happens, Ellie and Robin and her two crew members are catapulted into their worst nightmares. Robin is their only chance of making it out of the rainforest alive. Easier said than done. With lives on the line, can both women put aside their stark differences long enough to come up with an escape plan? Is there more to be found in the Amazon other than wild things? I don't know why, something about like a Survivor-esque reality TV show and a romance happening within that. Oh my gosh, that just like unearthed a childhood memory of like watching Survivor. And wasn't there like a couple on there that formed like during the filming and the taping, and they like got married? I don't know if they're still married or not. That just unearthed like a childhood memory of me shipping those two contestants from Survivor. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It's so random. Anyway, I feel like this book sounds like so much fun, and I'm super interested in it and super curious like what, if anything, I'm going to hear about it once it actually comes out, because I don't know. I think it looks cool. Next on my list is At Her Service by Amy Spalding. I think this book is kind of the second in a companion series called Out of Hollywood. I think the first was called For Her Consideration, which I have not read, but it is on my TBR for the year, so hopefully it will get read. And I'll probably try and read it before I read this one, but I am still interested in this one and wanted to mention it because I do believe that they can be read as standalones. They're just like companions, you know? This is another WLW romance, and the description is kind of confusing. I really don't even know what it's about, even though I've read it a couple of times. names, so bear with me. Max Van Doren has a wish list, and a great career and a girlfriend are at the top. But despite being pretty good at her job as an assistant to one of Hollywood's fastest rising talent agents, she has no idea how to move up the ladder. And when it comes to her love life, she's stuck in perpetual lust for an adorably perfect bartender named Sadie. Her goals are clear, and Max has everything but the self-confidence to go for them. Even her mother seems to assume she'll be crawling home to her childhood bedroom at some point. When Max's roommate Chelsea, an irritatingly gorgeous and self-assured influencer in plus-size and queer spaces, offers to sponsor her for a new self-actualization app, Max gives in. If she can't run her own life, maybe an algorithm guiding her choices will help. Suddenly, Max is scoring big everywhere, and her dreams are achingly close to coming true. But when one of Chelsea's posts reveals Sadie's part in the app's campaign, Max is poised for heartbreak on all fronts. Tired of the SpawnCon life with its fake friends and endless selfies, Max realizes that to have true influence, she'll have to find the courage to make her own totally authentic way in the world. I feel like I got a little bit more out of it that time that I read it, so I guess apparently there's this app that's helping our main character Max meet her goals, and maybe one of the goals is getting with Sadie, but she finds out Sadie is a creator of the app or something. I don't know. It's kind of a very convoluted, strange plot, but maybe it'll just be a very fun, unique, fresh read. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. It comes out on February 20th. I don't think I said that. Next on my list is Love and Hot Chicken by Mary Liza Hartong. This book also kind of sounds like a cozy mystery alongside being a WLW romance. It's set in a small town. It sounds super cute. I'm very interested in this because it sounds very different from a lot of the other contemporary WLW romance books that have been coming out recently, so I'm definitely keeping my eye on this one. The Chicky Shack is something of a historical landmark. Red clapboard walls, thriving wasp population, yard toilets resplendent with sunflowers. My best friend Lee Ray and I used to come after our softball games and snag a picnic table while our mamas ordered the home team special. Truth is, most people around here order the same thing until the day somebody throws their ashes off a roller coaster at Dollywood. The line snaked around the building as far as you could see, a real parade of diversity hobnobbing in the parking lot from noon until night. When PJ Spoon returns home for her beloved daddy's funeral, she doesn't expect to stick around. Why abandon her PhD program at Vanderbilt for the humble charms of her hometown, Penny Whistle, Tennessee? She tells herself it's to help her broken-hearted mama, but PJ's own heart is not doing too good either. She impulsively takes a job as a fry cook at Penny Whistle's beloved Chicky Shack, where locals gather for Nashville-style hot chicken. Then fate shakes up PJ's life again. While the town rallies around the terribly retro and terribly fun hot chicken pageant, PJ finally notices her cute red-headed coworker Boof, a singer-songwriter with the talent as striking as her curly hair. I'm sorry, why is the character named Boof? I don't understand. It was even stupider reading that name out loud than it was just reading it in my head. But I digress. While PJ and Boof fall for each other, Boof's search for her birth mother, a Penny Whistle native, catapults the budding couple into a mystery that might be better left unsolved. When the Chicky Shack pageant takes off, old rivalries and new friendships in Penny Whistle lead to unexpected fireworks and new beginnings. So part of me is I didn't put this book on the list at first because I'm this sounds really stupid. But the more I thought about it, the more I was this kind of sounds very charming and very small southern town vibey with a lesbian couple, which kind of just really appeals to me in my heart and soul. So I definitely would like to check this one out. It's very intriguing to me, and it sounds like it could be a lot of fun, so I'm definitely interested in this one. Alright, and those are all the contemporary books that I have on my list, so let's go ahead and talk about the science fiction and fantasy books that I'm looking forward to. So first on my list is Infinity Alchemist by Kaysen Callender. I've read quite a few books by Kaysen Callender, kind of been hit or miss. I really like his middle grade books and have had less luck with the YA, but I don't know, this one sounds really interesting to me for some reason. This one is YA. For Ash Woods, practicing alchemy is a crime. Only an elite few are legally permitted to study the science of magic, so when Ash is rejected by Lancaster Mages College, he takes a job as a school's groundskeeper instead, forced to learn alchemy in secret. When he's discovered by the condescending and brilliant apprentice Ramsay Thorne, Ash is sure he's about to be arrested, but instead of calling the Reds, Ramsay surprises Ash by making him an offer. Ramsay will keep Ash a secret if he helps her find the legendary Book of Source, a sacred text that gives its reader extraordinary power. As Ash and Ramsay work together and their feelings for each other grow, Ash discovers their mission is more dangerous than he imagined, pitting them against influential and powerful alchemists, Ash's estranged father included. Ash's journey takes him through the cities and wilds across New Anglia, forcing him to discover his own definition of true power and how far he and other alchemists will go to seize it. This book comes out on February 6th. I don't think I said that again, but it sounds really interesting. It has a lot of good rep in it. It says it has trans, queer, polyamorous characters of color, which is all very interesting to me. I am just very intrigued by this book, and I think it sounds sounds really cool. It does scare me a little bit. It only has like a 3.5 rating right now, which is pretty low, and it has like 265 ratings. I don't know. I'm not really sure why. I don't want to read the reviews because I just don't want to know why people are feeling mixed feelings about it. I do think that this is a like start to a new series. It does have a MLM romance in it as far as I can tell, and it sounds really cool and really unique, so I definitely would like to pick this one up. Next on my list is An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. This book comes out on February 13th and is a gothic horror fantasy with vampires and lesbians. Literally, what more could you ever possibly want in your entire life? I don't know. Deep in the forgotten hills of Massachusetts stands St. Perpetua's College, isolated and ancient, and is not a place for timid girls. Here, secrets are currency, ambition is lifeblood, and strange ceremonies welcome students into the fold. On her first day of class, Laura Sheridan is thrust into an intense academic rivalry with the beautiful and This is the second time we've seen this word today, and obviously I only read it and never say it because I have a no clue, like it's just not rolling off my tongue at all. Enigmatic Carmilla. Together they are drawn into the confidence of their demanding poetry professor, De La Fontaine, who holds her own dark obsession with Carmilla. But as their rivalry blossoms into something far more delicious, Laura must confront her own strange hungers. Tangled in a sinister game of politics, bloodthirsty professors, and dark magic, Laura and Carmilla must decide how much they are willing to sacrifice in their ruthless pursuit of knowledge. This sounds so good. I've never, well, just kidding. I have read S.T. Gibson before. I actually DNF'd Dowry and Blood, so I'm not sure how this one will go for me, but it sounds so good that I like want it to be good, so maybe this one will be the ticket. Maybe a Dowry and Blood just wasn't for me, but I don't want to write this author off completely because this book sounds incredible. Next is The Diablo's Curse by Gabe Cole Novoa. This is another YA book, and I think it just kind of follows like a group of queer characters. I think it has some trans rep in it. I think it is a mix of fantasy and historical fiction. Damie's a demon determined to cancel every deal they've ever made in order to tether their soul to earth and become human again. There's just one person standing in their way: Silas, an irresistibly and stubborn cute boy cursed to die young, except for the deal with Damie that is keeping him alive. If they cancel the deal, Silas is dead, unless they can destroy the curse that has plagued Silas's family for generations. But to do so, Damie and Silas are going to have to work together. That is, if the curse doesn't kill them first. Okay, so I take that back. It must be like some kind of like MLM romance between a demon and a human, which is fascinating. I love that. I'm very excited for that. This sounds really good. It's giving me like F.T. Lukens vibes, I think. And I feel like Gabe's first book did as well. I haven't actually read that one, but just from the description, you know, very curious about this one. I think that this one would be a fun read. Next on my list is To Cage a God by Elizabeth May. This is the first book in a new series called These Monstrous Gods. It is pitched as a book that's like for fans of Shadow and Bone, and it's like an Imperial Russia inspired romantasy is what it says, and it's a WLW romantasy, so we love that. To cage a god is divine, to be divine is to rule is to destroy. Using ancient secrets, Galena and Sarah's mother crafted gods into their bones. Bound to brutal deities and granted forbidden power, no commoner is held in a millennia. The sisters have grown up to become living weapons, raised to overthrow an empire no matter the cost. With their mother gone and their country on the brink of war, it falls to the sisters to take the helm of the rebellion and end the cruel reign of a royal family possessed by destructive gods. Because when the ruling Eloria invade, they conquer with fire and blood, and when they clash, common folk burn. While Sarah reunites with her estranged lover turned violent rebel leader, Galena infiltrates the palace. In this world of deception and danger, her only refuge is an isolated princess whose whip-smart tongue and sharp gaze threaten to uncover Galena's secret. Torn between desire and duty, Galena must make a choice, work together to expose the lies of the empire, or bring it all down. This sounds incredible. Can I have this right now? Comes out on February 20th, and I don't want to wait that long. I know that I'm filming this video so late. It's literally the 6th today, so what, like 14 days? I can wait that long, but I don't want to. I want it right now. Give it to me. Next on my list is A Red Sight by Meredith Mooring. This book comes out on February 27th. I actually found this book because I was participating in the like around the year in 52 books reading challenge. It's like my favorite reading challenge of all time. I've done it most consistently throughout my like reading years. I didn't do it the last 2 years, but doing it this year. Anyway, there's a prompt on that challenge to read, actually, or is it from the Pop Sugar challenge? I don't know. It's a prompt from one of the reading challenges that I'm doing this year, but basically the prompt is to read a book from a blind or a visually impaired author or main character. This book has both. So if you're participating in that reading challenge as well, this book fits. I don't know. I found it looking for that and I was like, oh my god, this sounds incredible and it's also queer. Please sign me up. This book comes out on February 27th and it's like a space opera. It has a WLW romance, space pirates, a blind witch. It sounds amazing. Corinna has a simple stay on the Navitus. Stay out of trouble and stay alive. She may be a red seer, a blind priestess with the power to manipulate space-time, but she is the weakest in her order, useless and an outcast. outcast, or so she's been raised to believe. As she takes her place as a navigator on an Imperium ship, Corinna's full destiny is revealed to blood brimming with magic. She is meant to become a weapon of the Imperium and a pawn for the order that raised her. But when the ship is attacked by the notorious pirate Asher Haran, Corinna's world is ripped apart. Asher has a vendetta against the Imperium and an all-consuming dark power that drives her to destroy everything in her path. She understands the world in a way Corinna has never imagined, and Corinna is drawn to her against her better judgment. With the Imperium and the justice-seeking warrior Sahar hot on her heels, Corinna must choose her side, seize her power and fulfill her destiny, or risk imperiling the future of the galaxy and destroying the fabric of space-time itself. This sounds so good. Oh my god, I actually got this book on NetGalley, so I'm very excited, and I'll probably try and read it this month, like early. It just sounds incredible, does it not? I think it sounds so good. I'm very excited for this book. Next on my list is Daughter of the Bone Forest by Jasmine Skye. This is the first book in a new series. The series is called Witch Hall. This book comes out on February 27th as well. This one is YA, so just take note of that. This one also has a WLW romance in it though, and it has like witches, and it says it's a queer normative dark fantasy debut. That sounds great. I love these like queer normative fantasy books. It's my favorite. I just love when it's just like normal to be gay in these worlds, you know. It's abnormal to be straight, because that's the world I'm living in as well. Rosie is a bone familiar, gifted with the power to shift into animals marked with exposed bone. She spends most of her days in the magical bone forest, caring for her feral grandmother and hiding her powers to avoid conscription by the Witch King's army, until the day that Princess Shaw, a witch known as Death's heir, visits the forest. When Rosie saves Shaw's life, the princess offers her the chance to attend the prestigious school Witch Hall as payment. Though Rosie is wary of Shaw's intentions, she cannot pass up the opportunity to find a cure for her grandmother's affliction. But at Witch Hall, Rosie finds herself embroiled in political games she doesn't understand. Shaw wants Rosie for her entourage, a partner to help lead the coming war. All Rosie wants is to stay out of trouble until she can graduate and save her grandmother, but she can't deny her attraction to Shaw or the comfort Shaw's magic gives her. Will Rosie give in to her destiny, or will the Bone Forest call her home once and for all? Guys, why do all of these fantasy books, these lesbian queer fantasy books, sound so freaking good? I don't have time to read all of these, but I want to right now. Alright, and last but not least in this category, of course I had to mention this book, and that is Prince Vagony by Tavia Lark. This is one of my favorite KU romantasy series. I just love this series to death. The characters are the best. They're my favorite. The world is so cool. I just am so obsessed with these. I wish they were like traditionally published and more people knew about them, because they're just really that good. These books are that girl. They are, I promise. Please read them. This is a book number 6 in the Perilous Court series, and it's like the third and final book in the Princes of Draskora arc within the series. Yeah, there's not very much of a description, but I don't really want a big description anyway, because I don't want to spoil you, but basically this whole series is set in this fantasy world with like dragons and cool like animals that can talk, and like assassins and princes and princesses and like all of that stuff. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sick. And the first book in the series is between a prince and the assassin that's assigned to kill him. So you should read it. It's really good. The 6th book follows reckless, cruel, and fragile Khazad-dûr is a prisoner in plain sight. Lucien Vare has no idea what he's getting into. That's all it says. This book comes out on February 28th, and I will be gobbling that shit up right when it comes out. Alright, and then I actually have 2 books in my thriller horror category this month, and I think they're both horror novellas, which is super interesting to me, and they are both lesbian, I think. So the first of which is Your Shadow Half Remains by Sunny Moraine. This book comes out on February 6th, which is the day that I'm filming this video, so it's already out, but it says, one look can kill. Riley has not seen a single human face in longer than she can reckon. No faces, no eyes, not if you want to survive. But when a new neighbor moves in down the road, Riley's overwhelming need for human contact makes her throw caution to the wind. Somehow, in this world where other people can mean a gruesome, bloody death, Alice makes her feel safe. As they grow closer, Riley's grip on reality begins to slip, and she can no longer fight her deepest desires. All Riley wants to do is look. This kind of reminds me of like Bird Box. I never read that book, but I did see the movie with Sandra Bullock, and that's kind of what it's giving, but it sounds good, and it sounds like a horror book with a lesbian romance, so I don't know, I'm very interested in it. It's very short, so it's not a big time commitment if I hate it, so I definitely think I'm going to try and pick this one up at some point. And last but not least is Mewing by Chloe Spencer. This book comes out on February 27th, and like I said, is another like queer horror novella. Vixen would sell her soul to get into the Bleach Babes, and if she isn't careful, she might just get what she wants. One of the most exclusive influencer co-ops in LA, the Bleach Babes live and work together in one big house where they have it all: popularity, talent, and beauty. Their leader, supermodel Margot, a woman as sinister as she is sexy. After Margot agrees to take Vix under her wing and into her bed, Vixen moves in and begins hustling. Success comes hard and fast, but the glitz and glamour comes with a price that may cost her sanity and and her life. This one also sounds interesting and is super short. It's like 110 pages. I don't know, it sounds kind of cool, and like the concept of the like influencer and like influencer kind of community and lore, like especially like beauty influencers in LA being horrifying being like the concept, the basis of a horror book is so fascinating to me, and it feels like very realistic. So I think that this book sounds super interesting, and I love that it has a queer twist, so I definitely, I don't know, might try and fit it in when it comes out. Alright, and that is my list of all of the books that are coming out in February that I am excited for. Let me know down below which books you're most excited for, and especially if I didn't mention it in this list, please let me know what you're excited for. Also, all these books will be linked in the description. If you buy them, pre-order them through my link, I will get like a tiny commission, which does help out the channel at no additional cost to you, but of course, don't do it if you're not feeling it. Another thing you can do to help out my channel is subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends, comment down below, all of that good YouTube stuff. So thank you so much for being here. Sorry I've taken another hiatus, but hopefully I'm like back more consistent this year. We will see. I should have 2 videos up a week this month, so please subscribe. You can also follow me on all my social media. All of those links are in the description. And I think that's everything I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching and for being here, spending time with me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.